Welcome to the City Council special meeting. Today is Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. The meeting is called to order at 5 p.m. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Menchaca,
Here.
Vice Mayor Chan, here. Councilmember Ding,
Here.
Councilmember Herrera Avila,
Present.
Councilmember Wu.
Here.
We will now have some announcements from our clerk.
Tonight's meeting is live streamed on the city's online platforms. If you wish to address the City Council during tonight's meeting, we request that you please complete a speaker's card and hand it to the clerk at this time. When speaking, please state your name for the record. Please note that interactions between the City Council, city staff, and the public during the meetings are subject to the city's rules of decorum.
First item, please.
First item is public comment. This is the time set aside for members of the public to address the City Council on items on this agenda. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Mayor, we have no public comments.
Okay, next item, please.
Next item is interviews and appointment, Planning Commission. Applicants will be considered to fill one unscheduled vacancy on the Planning Commission for a term ending May 31st, 2027. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members, you will each have 3 minutes to interview the candidates. The timer will be set when the orange light's up. It will indicate the applicant has 1 minute remaining. At the conclusion of the interviews, the council will vote by ballot to appoint one applicant to the commission. The first interview is with Danny Tang.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Danny. First of all, thank you for your willingness to serve our community. This is a very important commission. They all are, but this one in particular, the Planning Commission. And I have to say, I've been doing this for a long time, and we have some very qualified applicants. So it's exciting to see. You're the first one. And so I'm going to allow you to have that elevator pitch. Can you let me know in 1 minute, or let us know why you feel you're qualified or the best qualified for this position?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here. It's an honor to be here in front of the city council, the mayor, city manager, city attorney. So again, my name is Danny Tang. I have been living in St. Gabriel for 2020 in the past 5 years. Prior to that, I lived in Alhambra probably for the past 10 years or so. Growing up in St. Gabriel Valley, especially in Alhambra and St. Gabriel, I feel like it's my home. I feel like it's a great community, and that's why we chose to live here and pretty much invest and have my kid come to the school district. So I feel like as a person growing up, I always want to give back to community. That's why I was taught. So I think it's a great honor to able to serve as any kind of commission. But I feel this one is very related to my work. Is once regarding my educations, I have a bachelor in civil engineer in Cal Poly Pomona and a master in structural engineer in Cal State LA. So my work is all revolved around civil engineering, and I feel like that's very related to reading plan, and I also have work experience in the city of Los Angeles as a structural engineer, also reviewing structural and also planning there. Prior to that also, in addition to my education, I used to be a plan commissioner in City of Alhambra for 2.5 years in 2018 to 2020 before I moved here. So since I moved to St. Gabriel, that's when I stopped being a plan commission over there. I feel like it's a great sense of honor and way to give back because in order to be a good plan commissioner, not just with the experience that I have, with the education and work experience that I have, I think it's good to have that kind of moral value, to be a good listener.
Great, thank you. You'll have opportunities to finish that up with the other council members. I'm going to turn it to Vice Mayor Chan.
Thank you, Mr. Tang. Thank you for coming and applying. So I guess I get to ask the first question. What? What's that? Oh, right. Now, I guess getting a little more specific, what would you say is the greatest planning challenge in a city like San Gabriel? I know each city is a little different, and of course you come from experience with Alhambra, but you know our city is a little smaller, and so what do you see as kind of a challenge or something that we could improve in, or a way to improve?
I feel like this is a better city. That's why I moved here, right?
All right.
So, as I mentioned earlier, I used to work in City LA, so it's a very humongous city compared to San Gabriel. And I also had a chance to serve in as a planning commission in City Alhambra, which is a lot more condensed and more busy and a lot more bigger than we are. I really like the way San Gabriel is. I think there's a great place. I think one of the biggest thing is for a family-oriented type of community. But I do really like the fact that we developed so well on Valley Boulevard, where we allow taller building with more businesses to generate money for our city. So to be honest, that's why the reason I moved. I think we have a very great balance. In terms of challenges, okay. So I recently trying to build my house, and I feel like because I've done design for all over Orange County, from West Covina to Covina, Alhambra, Rosemead, so Temple City, all the place. I think one of the great challenges is here we require a little bit more than other city in terms of, I'm not saying, like, our planning department is wonderful. The staff there are great. But I think the extra layer of having city architect and just a residential home, it's just delaying projects so long. And I've talked to a lot of other homeowners that are building brand new house also. It takes so long to get through the city architect. So if I have to change, as I would recommend the council to reconsider that to maybe be along with other city where city architect doesn't require for residential home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Herrera Avila.
Thank you, Mayor. Former Alhambra Commissioner Tang, thank you for your time and your dedication to Alhambra, and now your interest and dedication for our city. As you know, our city is very historic. Tell me what you know about our city and the history, and then also in the role of Commissioner for the Planning Commission, how do you plan to elevate that history?
Thank you for that, and again, it's an honor just to be in here. San Gabriel definitely is very special. It's one of the very first cities to develop, the mission. Right, this is the epicenter of it. I feel like we, along the mission, like this area, I think we've done such a great job in terms of how we keep the aesthetic and the history of the missions in this area. And I feel like I'm all for historical, like, because it showed how the city come to be about. But I also believe that, we have to change in terms of, certain areas should be designated to be historical, which should kept as historical. I'm kind of thrown back at some of some of the new home. I think is okay for homeowner because they spend the whole life to do the saving and want to have the new look of the house, and I feel like that should be their choice, and also as long as it kind of balance out with the whole community as well. Yeah, but I'm all for historical community where houses that more than 100 years should be kept it as it is because it show how our city come to be about. Yeah.
Thank you. I yield my time back.
Councilmember Ding?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Tang, to apply the commissioner. It's a public service too, right? So based on you have experience with the Alhambra. So during do the commission to you, do you have any impress regarding the city of the Alhambra? You serve the Alhambra Planning Commission. Do you have any project you can share with us too? Then for you, it's what's your vision for our city too? Yeah.
Yes, I was there for 2.5 years. I've done. I review a lot of the proposed plan for a lot of commercial, even residential, and also updating the zoning code and the process of it. In terms of making sound decisions, like how I come to make the decisions, I think it's very good to have a good listening skill, and with the besides just having the various experience, I think it's important. And your question is to bring up an example projects of how I make my decisions on certain projects.
Or some you impress the case, yeah.
Impress.
Yeah. Some case you easy to remember to share with us. Yeah.
I think one of the things how I make decisions is, have to have a very balanced listen to developer side and also the residential side. Is ultimately is for them, is for the resident, and also we want to develop our city. So based on what I hear on the public, what they want, and based on what I hear on what the development propose, I was trying to find that balance and try to approve the project, but with certain condition that to make the resident happy also. It's very hard to find that balance sometimes, but I think as a community servant, that's what you do. You serve the community and you give what the community wants. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Councilmember Wu?
Okay, well, thank you, Mayor. So, Mr. Tan, in your personal and community affiliation, you mentioned that as a community leader, that you regularly host gatherings with neighbors in the village. Mm-hmm. So what is the most common topics of interest or concerns that your neighbors focus on most during the gatherings?
The good thing or the bad thing?
Start with the bad thing, please.
It's always the bad thing. I think in general, the village is a wonderful area. I love it. That's why we're so happy and blessed to move there. I think we have a great sense of community, and everyone is very neighboring, very nice about it. Actually, for most of the time, we just there just to have a great time and just sometimes we talk about certain projects. Some people have issue with their addition or their brand new house. What I just mentioned earlier, that with the residential house, I mean, pretty much in there's only one strip, one little strip that's commercial, but mainly just residential. I think sometimes people complain about the process is taking too long for residential. There's a couple of brand new houses that built in the village, and I share my experience with working with the city, St. Gabriel. I have a couple projects that I've done with St. Gabriel and also with other city, and I really want to bring it up, to the council, where we shouldn't take that too long to get a project to get done. Other than that, we talk about. I want to since we're gonna have a Halloween party block. So in the past 2 months, 3 months, that's what we've been talking about. That's all we talk about. And I really want to have the opportunity to invite you all to be there also. I think it's great. This is our second year doing so. First year was a huge success. And this year going to be big. Mainly just planning things and issue with the permit, the long process. And then recently is one of the big topic come up is parking. A lot of people get tickets on that. I'm not sure why. I think maybe we have a new company that came in, so things start changing a little bit. But really nothing big that I should bring up, but just a little thing here and there. Yeah.
Okay, Danny. Well, that concludes this portion of the interviewing process. Was there anything you would like to conclude with?
As I mentioned earlier, I think it's kind of somehow it really fits with my education and my work experience. Also, I think I do have a passion of community service, and I like to talk to people, and I'm not just on one-sided, just whatever the residential one or whatever the developer one. I think I can balance out. As older I get, I feel like I get better at it. So I think with my personality and my work experience and education, I think it'll be a great asset to the city, and yeah, I love to stay here forever.
Thank you so much for your time. And that's all.
Thank
You
you.
can return to the room. Adam, will you be taking him back, or?
Hello.
Hello.
So the next interview is with Caitlyn Au.
Okay, hello, Ms. Au. First of all, I just want to thank you for your willingness to serve this community. I've been doing this for a long time, and I have to say that we have a really great pool of candidates for the Planning Commission. Planning Commission is one of the key commissions that we have here. And so I'm going to ask, the question is, I'm giving you, we have 3 minutes, but why don't you just share with us why you think you're the best candidate for this role?
So, as you may have noticed, I'm quite young, and to be honest, I also have objectively the least amount of time spent in San Gabriel. I've only been living here for about 3 years now, since 2022. However, I have come to love this community very much. My mother grew up here, and so in a way, it's always been ingrained in my life. Even when we visit now, she brings up stories of how it's changed from then and now, and part of that change is what I am interested in. I think in a community like San Gabriel with so much history and such a diverse, range of individuals who live here, work here, and visit the city, it's very important to keep track of the changes that we see in modern times, and kind of, while we stay respectful of the history of the city, keep up with those trends as well. And I find that to be something that I've been interested in and something that I want to contribute to for San Gabriel.
Right, thank you. Councilmember Herrera Avila?
Is it? All right, Zal, thank you so much for stepping up to the plate and wanting to serve our community. As you might be aware, the city has deep history, a deep culture, you mentioned it, and deep history. I would like to gauge your understanding on our deep history that we have. What is your understanding of the history that we play in the map and what we have to offer in San Gabriel? And how would you use that, if any, to elevate our city through this role?
So from what I understand, San Gabriel really started with the Mission District and kind of branched out from there. It's part of the line of the mission system that spreads all throughout California. We learn about it in school, and it's very impactful to live so near one of these important landmarks in California history, because it really shaped the development not only of California, but on a smaller level of the county, of the city, of the communities around it. We know that the San Gabriel mission has been here even before Los Angeles City, right? And part of the reason why it's been so developed here is that spill off from the influx of newcomers to Los Angeles. They slowly make their way outwards, come towards here. We have the established mission. We have people set up here already, and it just branches out from there. And so part of that natural development of towns is, I think, what makes San Gabriel such a unique case. It really, from what I understand, the mission and the city has a goal to honor its history to its fullest, whether that is the positive parts, such as the development and the spread of culture, or the negative parts, such as the oppression of certain parties. So honoring and recognizing that while moving towards, I suppose, betterment for those communities, as well as for those that are coming in, is what I consider to be one of the main goals of this commission.
Thank you. I yield back.
Councilmember Ding?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Au, to apply the commissioner. So my question is, do you like our current city, the planning, the direction? You like or don't like, or you have any new, or your idea, the suggestion?
There are aspects that I like and aspects that I dislike. So my experience with the city is from largely a pedestrian standpoint. I walk, I bike here, I try to take public transportation where I can. If I am walking in the city, it gives me the chance to really be grounded and notice new developments or new projects or areas of improvement that maybe you might not notice while you're driving, right? You pass by things very quickly in your car. And so things that I have learned to like, you had a sidewalk improvement plan on Del Mar Avenue that was implemented a few years ago. There's greater connectivity along that avenue, as well as the painted bike path, which I appreciate very much. And I noticed that there's a plan to, I guess, extend that to Las Tunas. And so aspects of that where you as a council or the planning commission and the planners of the city are interested in improving the experience and the livelihoods of residents, not just from the mode of transport of car, which I know is very prolific in these times, but considering the safety of your pedestrians. Like, there are many neighborhoods that are surrounding schools, so it's important for students to be able to walk safely there, which these sidewalk improvement plans play a huge role in for them, right? You have the one on Las Tunas. I noticed that you guys have efforts to improve lighting on that boulevard, which I appreciate very much. So I think that as a whole, you're making efforts to better the health and safety of your residents. However, as I mentioned, there are still areas of improvement. When I'm walking, for example, there's a number of vacant lots. There's a number of I would say, poorly maintained public right-of-ways. Just these little things that kind of slip under the radar. And when you're planning on a larger scale, you tend to overlook things such as the public right-of-way. And I understand it's more for the city, I suppose, to go for larger developments and larger projects. But at the end of the day, you have the individual person here.
Thank you.
Councilmember Wu.
Thank you, Mayor. Hi, Ms. Au. So good to see you. You are very grassrooted in St. Gabriel. You work for St. Gabriel Mission Playhouse. You live in St. Gabriel, and your mom attends St. Gabriel Capilano High. So, first of all, thank you so much for your contributions to the Playhouse team, because it's really helped to make this as one of the most popular venues in St. Gabriel Valley. So my question is, given that the Playhouse hosts many iconic events throughout the year and that our city is expecting more populations, and especially the residential growth. So how do you view the parking challenge in our community? And also, what approaches that you would suggest to address this issue while balancing the community growth and accessibility?
So, as I mentioned, I'm very appreciative of your pedestrian sidewalk improvement plan. Those vacant lots that I mentioned, if necessary, could be converted to parking, right? But at the end of the day, if you have more and more people coming and you have all these people in their cars and you fill up those parking lots, you'll just end up with another cycle of the same issue. So addressing issues such as accessibility through walking patterns that give visitors and residents alike the opportunity to maybe park at a further distance and still commute safely via bike or by foot to venues such as the Playhouse. That is a area of opportunity to address, an influx of visitors to the area. Alternatively, public transportation is also something that's been is also a method of transportation that's been historically overlooked, but where we're seeing rise in the trends of people who want to use it. It's cheaper than gas, for example. It's fairly convenient to connect yourself between the city itself as well as other connections. And I believe that there's an area of opportunity within San Gabriel's microtransit system. I forget the name, but it's the one for residents and visitors alike, and then you have the separate program for like 65 and up.
Right, SG?
Yes, there we go, sorry.
I chuckle because I used it.
Okay, I was thrown off because Rosemead just implemented their own. But so an area such as that, where you have that opportunity for people, could be something that's looked at, whether that's increasing the fleet for the program, or again, increasing connectivity to the greater Los Angeles metro transit system.
Thank you very much, Ms. Au.
Okay, that concludes the interview.
What about
would you-
me?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What about Vice Mayor?
It doesn't conclude. Just kidding. Vice Mayor Chan, sorry about that.
It's all right. I got my plug-in for Right SG. Ms. Au, thank you for coming in and interviewing. And I know that you just had a discussion about mostly public transit as it relates to the city, but on a larger scale, what would you what do you see as the greatest planning challenges in a city like San Gabriel? Besides the public transit and what we were just talking about, but any other areas that you would see as a challenge and that you have ideas on what to do or?
So something that I've noticed with San Gabriel, we have these pockets of, how do I say this? We have these like plazas, right? For example, on New Demar, sorry, that plaza where there's the TK92 Korean barbecue spot. I'm forgetting the road. I think it's Valley, or no, is it New? Regardless,
Okay, go ahead.
there are these pockets of commercial plazas where we have different, I suppose, like restaurants, shops, opportunities for leisure, right? But aside from that, there's not much more to branch out into the city, as well as these plazas. Some of the tenants of them are also, I want to say, like not very well maintained in the area. So it kind of decreases the desire to go visit these, except for, you know, your one restaurant, your one store, your one landmark. So I suppose relating these areas for entertainment, because we have a highly residential city, right? But if we don't have people going out and committing themselves to spending or experiencing other parts of the city, we have these low occupied areas, such as those plazas, where it's just one place, you go there, you go home, and that's it. So I think one of San Gabriel's struggles, I suppose, is with making the surrounding area a little bit more appealing. The Mission District is a good example of an area where you have several points of note that a visitor could go to. For example, the Mission itself, you have the Ramona Museum, you have Blossom Market Hall, and all of it is within walking distance. And then just past it, you have the Center on Las Tunas. Yes, and so minimizing those segments of the city where there's just nothing, where there's low development, whether it's residential or economic, I believe is one of the hurdles that San Gabriel will have to jump.
Thank you. Yep.
Now we conclude. So thank you, Ms. Au, for spending the time and answering our questions. Do you have any short closing remarks before you or take leave, I guess?
Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone for having me here today. As a resident, it truly is an honor to be in a position where I have the opportunity to communicate, to contribute to the community, and to the place that I live in, to the place that I love. It's also a very down-to-earth experience sitting here talking with you that I'm not sure a lot of residents get to. And so thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome. And Adam will lead you to the back, and we're ready for the next candidate.
The next interview is with Kevin Diep. Ryan, we're still trying to reach him, but Kevin is here. Thank you.
Okay, so we will begin. Mr. Diep, thank you, first of all, for being here and for agreeing to come up sooner than your time slot. We really do appreciate your willingness to serve our community.
Yeah.
I've been doing these types of interviews for a long time, and I have to say, we do have quite a few qualified candidates. The applicants are, have a great resumes and great experience, and I want to give you the opportunity to tell us what sets you apart. Why should we select you?
I appreciate that. So my name is Kevin Diep. I'm a 11-year resident over here in San Gabriel. I live on Padilla Street by close to the medical center. Been involved with the community many, many occasions. And professionally, I'm a sustainability program manager for a healthcare organization. The objective for what I do, my professional work, is about being green and finding financial stability in being green. I also have a personal interest as a long-term resident of the city. What I do see, I'm hoping that I can that this position can help support our vacant lots. Vacant lots, what I see personally, that could use some support from the city to help working with the owners to maintain and to make sure that we curb our issues with homelessness and there's a issue with crime as well, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here. So again, I see this opportunity being a planning commissioner and capitalizing on my background as well as my personal experience with the city's vacant lots. I think I can help contribute to bring some positive outcomes going forward.
Thank you so much. I'm going to pass it on to Councilmember Ding.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Diep. Okay, to apply. So you're living in our city is like 11 years. So did you see our current development? So you feel you like it, this direction? Or no matter you like it or not like it, or just asking you, but just want to know if you become the planning commissioner, what's your concern about our direction?
That's a very interesting question. Mm-hmm. I personally think based on the needs of the city and the need for the housing crisis, we do, it's a good thing that we continue to build. I do see that the projection with building more mixed use is probably a sustainable solution, considering the limited amount of resources that we have and we have to build up instead of building out. However, as a resident, it does come into my mind, not in my backyard. It's one of the first things that come into my mind. Only because I've seen personally 4 homes torn down in front of my property by a developer, and now it's going to be a mixed use. And I'm very passionate about it because I came back to the city and worked with the project manager in the past to make sure that developments such as this doesn't disturb the way of life within our community. But do I think do I like the current path and where we're going? It's a mixed feeling, to be honest with you. If I drive down Valley Boulevard today and I see all these hotels and those type of structures being built, I'm starting to see the sun. I'm starting not to be able to see the sun anymore. But again, it's more personal. But again, on this side of the coin, I also see that we do have a housing crisis, and San Gabriel is not really, to be honest with you, it's not affordable. It is what it is. At the same time, I think if we can come up with creative ways to help some of this issue, that's going to be a passion of mine as well. So again, just to answer your question, am I satisfied? I am, but can we do better? Yeah. And I'm going to start with vacant lots. It's one of the first things because this is a business. I don't want to go on with this, but as developers come in and get passed and get their permits to build a package, a package and get a permit and build a building, most of the times they can sell it. And that's how they make more money. It does not take into consideration with the voices of the residents or whatsoever. And that's where I feel like it needs more involvement from the community.
Thank you.
Councilmember Wu.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Diep, for applying this position. From your resume, it shows that you are a certified lead LED green associates, and also you're managing the utility programs.
Correct.
So we anticipate that you're bringing your valuable knowledge that will be, about the energy efficiency. I don't know if you know this program. There's a SGV COG, which is a San Gabriel Valley Council of Government. They just released a program. It's called ESGV, that will be offering the free assessment and and energy efficiency for the renters and homeowners for free. And those will be helping our residents that will be save more energy and lower their utility cost. So from your perspective, what additional sources or programs or initiatives that you think the city can provide to help our residents in San Gabriel to save their energy and save their daily utility expenses? Thank you.
Sure. From a large project perspective, obviously, there's many technologies out there. Solar, as everybody knows, is one of those key benefits of technology that, eventually will either pay itself out or, at least reduce your electricity bill. And whether you like it or not, it's going to be a requirement that towards new construction, it's going to be a part of the requirement going to the state. So that is not my idea. I'm just saying one of the technologies out there, but financing for solar is always going to be a problem for many people. In my professional experience, in my organization, we don't really finance a lot of our solar. That's all done externally. And we find that through many different types of financing structures, which I'll be happy to explain a little bit more. But at the end of the day, initiatives like that do not have to be done in-house. Not to be done throughout your own pocket, is what I'm saying. I'll give you two more examples. I'm not sure if you know, but Assembly Bill 1572 was just passed about a year ago. Basically, it's going to say that you no longer need, any parcels with non-functional turfs are going to have to be removed. You're going to have to go through drought-tolerant landscaping. How are we going to get there? Funding needs to be set aside. And it affects government first, actually. As of January 2027, we're not going to have a lot of green turf areas going forward because we have to comply by this. The good news is that, not a lot of people know, but the Metropolitan Water District does offer $3 to $8 a square feet when we do turf conversions. So again, it is one of those things where knowledge sharing is one of those aspects of what I would contribute. It's just making sure people are fully aware of all the financial vessels out there that we can actually capitalize on. As you sit here today, those lights that what you see above you are not LEDs. Those are no longer allowed to be sold. Assembly Bill 2208, which was passed in January of last year, has already started to phase out fluorescent technology. You and I can't go to Home Depot anymore and get a fluorescent lamp. We have to convert to LEDs, right? In doing this, it does take funding to be set aside. And I can tell you, the utilities do offer on-bill financing at 0% interest, which will eventually be a bill-neutral solution. Meaning, if you put in the technology, the savings from technology will pay for itself out through time, and it'll be on your bill. So you won't feel the impact of it. You're just paying the same rates that you're paying, but you're getting LED benefits. So those are examples which I would contribute.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Vice Mayor Chan.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Diep, for coming and applying. Now, just listening to you, it seems like your professional experience, you have quite a bit of knowledge in the area of sustainability and such. But I wanted to ask, do you have direct experience with construction and building and that kind of area?
Yes. My humble beginning starts with the capital projects, mostly with hospitals and commercial. So I'm actually still employed through capital projects. All the solar systems, batteries, resiliency systems, fuel cells, EV chargers. If you drive down any 10 freeway today and you see a healthcare organization on my resume, that's my program. As well as enhancing buildings from a non-LEED certified building to helping to assist to get LEED. And I do that without going to really having money being spent out of their own pocket, or in my case, our company's pocket. Again, power purchase agreements is one of those types of financing vessels that we use, and I'm sure that it can benefit many other businesses or people who need to construct it. They can understand if they have these options out there, being green is not going to hurt their pockets so much. It just needs to have more intelligence of what you can do to get there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Councilmember Herrera Avila.
Mr. Diep, thank you so much. Happy to see you here, stepping up to the plate. I'm very familiar with your street, and
Yeah.
I've seen all the hard work that the community has done there as far as maintaining a sense of community. And I know that there was like a halt on the cars and a border, or like not a border, but some kind of barrier installed there. So thank you for those efforts as well. As you know, the city of San Gabriel is pretty historic, so I want to understand your understanding of how historic and how valuable that is, specifically your point of view with preservation, and how you elevate preservation with this role.
That's a very good point. You know, I have my experience in dealing with, at least in where I live, the Mission District has a lot of regulations that, you know, in order to comply, you have to follow the set of standards, right? Everything has to fit according to that standard of how, you know, it needs to match the look of the mission. Your question exactly is help me understand exactly what.
So two parts. The first, like, what is your understanding about our history?
Okay. San Gabriel is a very old city. You probably know it is the start place. San Gabriel Mission is the start place of Los Angeles. That's how I understood San Gabriel to be. You know, and a lot of things in San Gabriel are old. So a lot of structures in San Gabriel are old. To get it from 100-plus-year-old of infrastructure to newer technology or new is a very big challenge. It's very similar to what I'm dealing with today in my own house. Lath and plaster, no insulation, flat roofs, all these things are going to be one of those issues that needs to be addressed when you deal with historic, you know, structures in San Gabriel. I think personally, you know, I just don't like walking down and going to a cookie cutter community. I like the look. I like the Spanish style feeling. That's why we invested so much into our community, or at least my wife and I.
And in this role, how you feel like you will elevate that, or would you push for, or not push, but would you elevate historical preservation, or will you keep that in mind when you're making decisions?
Absolutely. You know, I just told you earlier, I have my personal feelings regarding how mixed use are expanding. But, you know, I personally think we need to keep our roots. And I would also like to see if we can actually add more green. You know, less structure and more green, because green is also planting more trees is what I'm trying to say. And those things are not just high-tech stuff. They have a lot of benefits to reducing heat island effects and contributing to, you know, reducing climate change contributors. So, to your question, I personally would like to preserve as much as I can. I wouldn't want to just get something newer just because it's, the shinier thing. I hope that makes sense.
Makes sense. Thank you. I yield back.
So that concludes our interviews. And so again, thank you for taking the time to share your opinions and your views, your experience. Are there any short closing remarks you would like to make?
I would just want to thank the council here for giving me this opportunity to speak, also to voice an opinion from a resident, and also myself, as a resident trying to give back to the community, and that's why I'm here.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
You're welcome.
Adam will take you to the back. And let's see, did the other applicant, Adam, is he here? Mr. Zen, I think it is?
So Mr. Ryan Zen is a no-show.
Okay, so that closes our, the interviews. So does any council member have any questions for staff before we begin to vote?
I think I know the answer, but we're just picking one, right?
Yes.
That's difficult.
Yes,
Thank you.
okay. And let's see, the clerk will pass out the ballots, and then the clerk will also, once he collects all the ballots, he will display the votes on the screen and announce the votes. So we will now take a moment to vote. So we'll pass the ballots again, and we're going to vote between the two top vote getters right now. Vote for one, Danny Tang or Kevin Diep.
So the council members chose Danny Tang as a majority.
Okay. And so at this point, we do need to make a formal appointment. So do I have a motion to appoint Danny Tang to the Planning Commission for a term ending May 31st, 2027?
I move to approve.
Okay, may I have a second?
I second.
Okay, please vote.
Motion passes by a vote of 5-0.
Great, thank you so much, and thank you for all of you for applying. And that concludes this portion. We will be adjourning for the next regular city council meeting, which will be held today, Tuesday, September 16th, 2025, at 6:30 PM.